And I'm Emily Wayland.
And we are here in beautiful Minneapolis at the Jackson Flats Artspace for the Gods and Monsters Art Show. We're here today representing the Singular Fortean Society, and we're talking to artist Corey Schjoth. Now, Corey, you are a photographer, and you have your own sort of Fortean photography endeavor under Phantasmagoria Photography, is that right? So what led you to start that?
I've always had an interest in the paranormal since I was a kid, and I love history, and I kind of felt like I one day wanted to just start visiting these places and going and photographing them and stuff, and go to places that have a good history to them and that have a really good aesthetic. And so I decided that that's what I wanted to do when I started.
Sure, and so the subjects that you photograph, now they traditionally have their own paranormal histories attached to them, right? So do you want to talk a little bit about the photographs that you're entering into today's art show?
Yeah.
Like what's sort of the paranormal history behind those?
The one particular, let's see, it's I think Forest Home Cemetery. That's near Milwaukee. That has a very long history of the Milwaukee area. A lot of beer barons are involved. I think even the founder of Harley Davidson is buried there.
Oh, wow.
And it does have a very long history, I guess, of paranormal activity. Exactly.
So it's reportedly haunted cemetery?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And it's a lot of Victorian monuments there and everything like that, and it's very huge and beautiful cemetery to visit.
Fascinating. So if anybody is ever nearby Milwaukee, Wisconsin, definitely visit Forest Hill Cemetery. Nice. Well, yeah, that's super interesting. So you mentioned that you yourself have had an interest in the paranormal from a very young age. Do you want to talk a little bit about what inspired that? Have you had any paranormal experiences yourself?
Yeah, I've had a few since I was a kid. I don't know. I think I've always had an interest in it. Interest in paranormal, magic, horror movies, and stuff like that ever since I was a kid. When I was 10 years old, my 5th grade class went up to Lake Geneva to George Williams, and we had it was a week-long camp trip that we were up there. We were in dorm rooms and everything. And the last night that we were going to be there, we did campfires and everything. Came back to the dorm room, and there's 2 bunk beds per room. I was on the lower bunk bed, and I was sharing it with 3 other guys. And everybody was kind of settled in and everything. And the light coming through the doorway kind of fills up the room. Your eyes kind of get adjusted to everything and stuff, so you can see pretty well within the room and everything. And I noticed 2 red eyes staring at me at the foot of my bed.
Okay.
And I was like, is someone messing with me? Is one of the people in there or whatever? And it wasn't. I sat up, I rubbed my eyes several times thinking I'm seeing stuff or whatever. Sure. And it just stayed there. And it was moving like in and out. And weird part about it is that I didn't feel scared by it. I was more like
really
intrigued by it, like what is this,
Sure.
And it sort of went away, and I knew nobody was doing anything because I could see.
Right.
But it was just the weirdest thing.
Wow.
And I've never had that experience before, but
sure.
That was like my first.
That'll inspire some interest. Yeah, definitely. No, I get it, and I think that events like that are pretty common. Not that specifically, but when you start talking to people with interests in these sorts of subject matter, I think you can often trace it back to some inexplicable event. Very very similar to that. Right. So yeah, that is fascinating stuff, honestly. Emily, did you have some specific art-related questions? That's definitely more your
I guess
forte,
that's my area of the Singular Fortean Society myself. So can you talk about the process you use to photograph these places? I know you've mentioned it in your write-ups for the Paranormal Art Portal, but I mean, it's not just, we're looking at them on the wall, by the way, for those watching this. I'll cut to it. But they're not just spooky places, they actually like look super spooky. So can you tell us about that photographic process, what it is and all that stuff?
What I use is an infrared digital camera, which is basically a regular SLR, and I've had it converted to infrared. And that process involves, there is a filter in front of the sensor,
Okay.
and that filters out a majority of the infrared light to allow more visible light in. And without that filter, a lot of photographs become very kind of blurry. It has weird color shifts to it. Well, when I had it converted to infrared, that filter is removed and replaced with a infrared filter. Basically, it's a real dark, deep red filter, which allows most of the infrared light to go through, but allows only part of the visible light to go through. So it's like a reverse filter for it. And so what that allows is me to handheld shooting infrared film or infrared light and everything like that, and it produces a very kind of almost like surreal sort of.
It's very glowy.
Yeah,
kind
very
of ghosty.
yeah,
look.
kind of a ethereal type of a look to it. The blue skies turn black. All the foliage turns white, and even like skin color turns like white, and sometimes like depending on what kind of eyes, those turn black and everything like that. It's a very unique process and stuff, and it's a lot easier to use that than compared to the old way of shooting infrared film. With infrared film, you had to really be careful with the film because you had to have it in complete darkness, or it would fog. You had to wear gloves while loading it and unloading it because the heat from your hands would fog. You had to keep the film at a constant temperature, or it would fog, and it was very difficult to work with and
The
stuff.
film chemistry is, as cool as film is, it's a lot more complicated bringing all those chemicals in. So I mean, both are great, but digital definitely helps keep it a little cleaner, I guess you could say.
It's a lot simpler. Yeah, it's a lot simpler. It's a lot more. It's a lot less finicky than you would with the film and stuff like that.
So how long have you been doing this?
Since like 2009 is when I really kind of started it. I sort of experimented with different types of things, and then come to the realization that I just needed to get a camera converted, which it just makes life a lot easier and stuff. And so I decided just to do it that way and stuff. So, and it's been doing good. So.
And we actually first met you at the Art of Darkness show 2 years ago at the Fridley Center.
It's been 2 years already.
Yeah, it has been 2 years already.
Yeah.
So I know you've been in like shows since then. Didn't you do something this past winter, like an art installation?
Yeah. Troy Taylor with his he does the Dead of Winter thing down in Alton conference every winter time, and I did an installation there where I had a lot of my pictures and stuff available for showing and stuff like that too. So.
Well, it's fantastic, and Troy's a great guy to work with.
He's
honestly, we went to Haunted America last year, and we're progressing with that. We'll be there again in 2019. But I mean that sounds great. And speaking to your photographic process, it certainly creates a wonderful sort of spooky aesthetic. So. I mean, it's great work. Keep it up. So other than in our art portal, if people are interested in phantasmagoria photography, where can they find out more about that?
I have a website, www.phantasmagoriaphoto.com. I have a Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter, which I'm not on very much, but
Sure.
mostly on like Facebook and Instagram mostly and stuff
Okay.
like that stuff.
Well, great. We'll look for Corey Schjoth and Phantasmagoria Photography. That is a mouthful, but look for that on every social media platform. And, Emily, where can people learn a little bit more about the Singular Fortean Society if they'd like to?
Also on a lot of social media platforms.
Go figure.
We are on Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook, YouTube, obviously, as you're watching this. You can find us at our website at singularfortean.com, and of course, please check out Corey and all of our other awesome paranormal artists at the Paranormal Art Portal.
Great. All right. Well, thanks again, Corey, and we're looking
Thank
forward
you.
to the Gods and Monsters show tonight and getting to hang out a little bit.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks.
If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and please make sure to subscribe if you want to see more content like this.
If you don't, it'll be your funeral.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just being awkward at the outro again.
That's fine. Okay, so that's